house has been around since 1856, built by a merchant named Thomas Whaley. Some people say Thomas Whaley still lives here, in spirit. We visited at night, naturally. That's when you'd expect spirits to come out. The Whaley House is a museum now, and June Redding has been the director for almost 25 years. A very pleasant, very rational woman who is convinced the Whaley House is haunted. There is no doubt in your mind, is there, that there are spirits in this house?
Oh, definitely. I think they'll always be here. I don't believe that they're going to leave. I think they're tied to this house.
Mm-hmm. She says the spirits are friendly. They never bother people, but she says they are present. The consensus is that there are 4 main spirits: Thomas Whaley, his wife Anna, a little girl who used to play with the Whaley children, and a sailor named Yankee Jim Robinson. Yankee Jim was hanged for stealing a boat in 1852, 4 years before the Whaley House even existed, but the gallows stood right here, where the downstairs archway of the house was later built. The theory is that he's still
his spirit
supposedly
permeates this house. It's manifested sometimes by footsteps, by walking.
What did you think when you first heard those footsteps?
Well, I really wanted to ignore them, to be very frank about it.
But the sounds were hard to ignore. They were persistent.
And sometimes we would hear a sound of someone descending the stairs. Never came to the bottom of the stairs, but it would fade out.
Mm-hmm. There have been other phenomena hard to explain. Mrs. Redding and others have heard music. The Whaleys loved music. There have been smells.
We get a wonderful perfume, which I think is French and belonged to Mrs. Whaley. We get a fragrance of violets, like dusting powder from the girls' room upstairs here.
And several times the smell of cigars. And no smoking is allowed in the Whaley House.
No, and the smell will travel. You will swear someone's walking and smoking toward the front door.
Several times, especially around the holidays, there's been the smell of cooking. No one cooks in the Whaley House anymore. We didn't encounter any strange smells while we were there. We didn't see any apparitions, but sounds, well, at one point, our audio man, Rick Corcoran, heard a scratching noise in his earphones.
I was going to check the mic and see if it was something wrong with the mic box, but
why don't you do that?
It hasn't been there all night.
It just started?
Yeah.
He checked the mics. They seemed okay.
Didn't appear to be anything wrong with the mic.
But it sounded scratchy.
I heard some scratches there. Hadn't been there all evening.
And then there is the matter of the 9th step. You see, there's a courtroom in the Whaley House. It was the county seat from 1869 to 1871. County records were kept here. But the city fathers decided to move the records. Whaley resisted that idea. So in 1871, some men broke into the house and took the records. Anna Whaley heard the commotion, went to investigate, and was standing on the 9th step of the staircase when she was confronted by the men. They had a gun. They threatened her and her children. And to this day, on that 9th step, the air suddenly becomes much colder, really. It might just be a draft, but it is definitely colder.
I feel a cool...
You feel coolness there, don't you?
updraft.
That's right. If warm air rises, what are we getting a cool updraft for?
There is a spot downstairs where June Redding is convinced something happened in the past. She says very often she can feel an invisible shield.
Right there, and sometimes it hits you. It'll hit you in a strange way. You'll get a real strong chill from it.
I couldn't feel a shield, but it did feel colder suddenly. Legends have grown up around the Whaley House. There are stories of screams, of bolted windows suddenly flying open. June Redding has witnessed none of that, but once she says she and another woman heard a man's laughter right behind them. It was loud, and there was no one there, except she thinks the ghost of Thomas Whaley. Proof of all this, well, it's hard to come by. There are photographs that appear to show some kind of apparition. Then again, they might be shadows or reflections. The only real proof is to see or hear or smell something. June Redding has heard and smelled. Others claim to have seen. And they are convinced that even when the doors are locked, the lights are off, and all the people have left, this beautiful old house is still occupied.
Hello, Unfazed Frights crew. Today I'm in San Diego, California, historic Old Town San Diego, at the Whaley House, one of the most haunted places in America, allegedly. And we're gonna go inside and check it out. This isn't really like a real paranormal investigation or anything that deep. Just going in on a self-guided tour during the day. I'm gonna go check it out, see what the vibes are like, and kind of focus a little more on the history and just the vibes. Let's go check it out. Ah, the Whaley holding cell. Look at that. 1860, the county board of supervisors hired a contractor to construct an iron cell that cost about $400 to replace the first cobblestone jail. The second jail holding cell is located today behind the first county courthouse, located in the Old Town San Diego Historic State Park. The county's second courtroom, located in the Whaley House, would have also had a similar holding iron cell too. This reconstructed cell follows the same design and construction of the original courthouse. Well, look at that. Please do not climb. We gotta go inside the holding cell, come on. I think it'd be more embarrassing than anything, you know? Especially if like people you knew in town are walking by. Jeez. And you got the buggy, Whaley House buggy. All right, the Whaley House courtroom. Spooky. Also beautiful. This was even a historic site in the early 1900s. Look at that. Early museum. Wow, look at this. Hey, Blue Willow china. My mom has that china. Smoking tobacco, stogies, and pistolas. Ooh, this definitely has a good vibe. I don't know if good is the word I'm looking for, but kind of an eerie vibe. So this is supposed to be the most haunted house in America. I don't know if I believe that personally. I think there's much more haunted places out there, but it got that name for a reason. It got that reputation for a reason, so I highly doubt that it's inactive. Hello. Anna Eloise Delaney Whaley. Anna Whaley and family. Here they are. From left to right, granddaughter Mabel Reynolds, great-granddaughter Marion Reynolds, grandson Bruce Whaley, Anna Whaley, great-granddaughter Margaret Reynolds, and daughter Lillian Whaley. Lovely bunch of ladies. Every time. So this is a staircase that my dad climbed up when I was a kid, and someone pulled on his backpack. So I too am wearing a backpack. Well, we'll see in a minute if anyone pulls on my backpack. Hope so. But let's continue down here. There's more people upstairs, so I kind of want to have as much time alone in the Whaley house as I can. Makes it a little better for recording. A dress originally belonging to Anna Eloise Whaley. Look at that. Very petite. People were very petite back then. Oh, very dapper. Thomas Whaley. This was his gear. This was his drip. There he is. There he is. Ooh. This has a feel. Okay, so Archer, the tour guide, who kind of gave us a little introduction before this, said this archway right here was to represent where the gallows used to be, because this house was built on top of the hanging grounds, where they used to do tons and tons of executions, all through the 1800s. So yeah, that was to represent where the gallows used to be. Sweet, the gallows. I just got a really weird feeling. Yeah, a little bit of goosebumps right there. Yeah. Maybe it's the creepy organ music playing in the background, I don't know. But a little bit of a vibe. A little bit of a vibe. Alright, walking up the stairs now. Backpack on, let's see what happens. I'll grip the handrail just in case someone yanks me backwards. Go ahead. I know they're tempted by backpacks. Didn't feel anything. What a wuss. One of the bedrooms. Oh, here's where they would have little plays. Oh, very cool. It's where Thomas Whaley would do stand-up comedy. A lot of gallows humor. So a theater troupe called the Tanner Troupe actually lived here briefly and performed, and the main dude died after a few months. Pretty tragic. You can read a little bit about it if you guys want to pause it. In 1858, Thomas Whaley Jr., Tommy, passed away of scarlet fever, only 17 months old. Tragic. This was the little dude's room. So these are a bunch of artifacts that were unearthed on the Whaley property over the years. Looks like from like 2007 to 2011. They found a bunch of these artifacts from back in the day. Pretty cool. These are modern, obviously. Alright, now I have the theater room completely to myself. And I'm going to do a one-man monologue. It'd be amazing to sleep in the Whaley house alone at night. Well, I say that now. Maybe in the moment it wouldn't be too amazing, but it would make for great content. Alright, back down we go. See if we get a copyright flag on the organ music. Alright, so having gone through the whole house, outside of the house and everything, this is the creepiest spot right here. There's a doorway leading into the parlor over here with the gallows archway there with the organ music playing. If you remove the organ music, it's still spooky. There's a vibe. It's like almost like a physical reaction. Like I feel kind of the goosebumps coming in a little bit. So yeah, there's something here. This is probably the creepiest area, I think, but interesting. On the 18th of September, 1852, James Yankee Jim Robinson was the last man to be hanged at this site after being convicted of grand larceny. The simple gallows consisted of 2 posts, a horizontal beam, and a mule-drawn wagon. Ooh, brutal. A Catholic priest conducted the final ceremonies, and Yankee Jim was allowed time to deliver a farewell speech to the crowd that had gathered. Under-Sheriff Crosswaite gave the order, and a whip was applied to the mules, leaving Yankee Jim to hang. Mr. Thomas Whaley, present during the execution, purchased this property shortly afterward. What a sicko. By all accounts, he built his brick home where the gallows originally stood. And Yankee Jim, according to our tour guide over there, said Yankee Jim was about 6'5", and he strangled for like over half an hour. So it was a pretty brutal way to go. All right, and this was the fancy schmancy outhouse that they had. And Thomas Whaley's daughter actually ended herself. Let's put it that way. She ended her life here. In a pretty brutal fashion, shooting herself in the chest. And I guess she shot herself in the lungs and drowned in her own blood. It was pretty brutal. But yeah, that happened here. Obviously they updated the bathroom, but yeah, sad stuff. So a lot of bad luck associated with the property. Can't imagine why. And there's floors. Alright, here I am inside of the Whaley holding cell. Good times. I hope I can find my way out. So anyway, that concludes my look inside the Whaley house. Pretty cool stuff. Haven't actually been inside the Whaley house. Shit, almost lost my balance. It was the ghost pushing me over. Haven't actually been inside the Whaley house since I was a teenager. So pretty cool checking it out. Emmett and I have been around it, and I've been adjacent to it many, many times over the years. But actually going back inside of it was pretty cool. Like I said, last time I was in there, I was probably like 13 or 12 or so. So pretty neat stuff, interesting vibes, and I would love to do a paranormal investigation there at night, but that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But still a great historic place, and I recommend checking it out if you are in the San Diego area sometime. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate you all. Remain unfazed, and keep it frightening. Thanks.